Hello friends, welcome to our channel. Today we will discuss about the IP address, Internet Protocol address, and what are the working and functionality of the IP address over the internet, and how it is assigned, and what are the types of the IP at the Internet Protocol address. So friends, if you have not subscribed the channel, for more videos subscribe the channel. So let's start the IP address. IP address, Internet Protocol address, is a set of rules that governs the internet activity over the internet or over the network. Network here means the www, World Wide Web. An IP address, that is a product that plays significant role to communicate among the system or digital devices. Here the all kind of the digital devices are laptop, PDA and systems, and one, as we all are aware, that the network is the thing that is the connected millions of node at a particular place. So that is the meaning of the over network. All kind of devices are connected together by which we have to communicate from one device to another. Now the third point is the IP address allows the location of digital device that are connected to the internet. So by IP address we can access each and every system over the network. IP address is a unique number that is assigned to each and every digital device over the network. This unique number grants or gives you the sender or receiver or any person or any subscriber you access to the internet. So that's why IP address is known as the logical address. For example, 192, like that pattern. So here you can say that is the window of the IP address by which you can see, or you will be able to see the your own IP address. So that is the like of the property of the IP address or window of the IP address in the Internet Protocol properties. So like that pattern, these are the IP address pattern. So we will see here in the next slide. So what are the types and how it will be placed, and what are the classes of the IP address. Now IP address works on the third layer of the OSI model, that is also known as the IP Internet Protocol or network layer, in the third layer of the TCP/IP also model. So there are the two flavors or two version or two types of the addressing scheme. First one is the IP version 4 and second is the IP version 6. IP version 4 is the 32-bit addressing. The field or the length of the addressing is the 32-bit of the IP version 4, and the length of the IP version 6 is the 128-bit addressing. So we will see here in the detail in the next slide. Now we will focus on the IP version 4, Internet Protocol version 4. It is a 32-bit address. In this address, the address is 32-bit address is divided into the 4 octets, means 4 octets. So all kind of the address is divided or will be represented by 0 and 1s, and that is the binary number. So like that pattern, that is the 32-bit address. So we will see here how it is divided. So in the 32-bit address are divided into the 4 octet like that pattern. First one is the first octet, means first 8 bits is that is known as the octet. One octet is the that is the combination of the or collection of the 8 bits. So that is the 8 bit, that is known as the first octet. Next also the 8 bit, and that is the second octet, and that is the third octet, and that is the fourth. So like that pattern, all the IP address or 32-bit address is divided into the 4 octet. So that is the 1 octet is the combination or collection of 8 bits. So that is the scenario of the IP version 6. In that present scenario we are using IP version 4. Now the IP version 6, it is a 32 128-bit address. So in this address or in this scenario, the IP address is divided into the 8 parts like that pattern. In the IP version 4 we have to divided in the 4 parts. So in that we have to divided the address into 8 parts of 16 digit, means 16 bits, that is the one part, and we have to divide it into the 16 parts of 8 parts. So like that pattern we have to divide into the hexadecimal parts, and each 16-bit block is converted into a 4 digit, that is known as the hexadecimal number. So each 4 digit hexadecimal number, that is a length of the 16 bits, or all kind of the 4 bits having the length of the 16 bits, and 4 hexadecimal length is divided into the 8 parts. So that's why that is the length of that address. 128 bit address is divided into the 8 parts of the 16 bit, and 16 bit is converted into the 4 digit 4 bits of the hexadecimal number. So like that pattern, that is scenario known as the IP version 6. Now the classes of IP address. What is the IP address classes? So the classes of IP address is divided into the 5 categories. First one is the class A, class B, class C, class D, and class E. We will see here in more detail. So we will see here what is the purpose. So A, B, C, these classes are used for the LAN, local area network, and wide area network. Now the class D is used for the multicasting, and class E is used for the research and developments. Now how to identify the range of each class? So the answer is a bit called the priority bit, that is used in the first leftmost of all first octet, that we have already seen in the IP version 4, that is the divided into the 32-bit address in the 4 octets. So the first octet having the first digit, like that pattern, class A. So how we will recognize the each and every classes. So class A will contain the 0, that is the fix, in that we have not changed or we can't change. So the first, if you have seen, the first digit is the 0, so that is the class A. Is the first digit the 10, that is the class B, and the class C 110, and like that pattern, that is the scenario, that is the leftmost bits known as the, so that is the scenario by which we have to able, or we will be able to recognize the all types of the IP address classes. Now the classes of IP address in detail. So first class is the class A address. So this class is used for LAN and WAN. The first bit of the first octet is always set to 0. The range of this class is 1 to 127. Total is the 128. Now the example, like that pattern, the first digit is the 0 in both kind of the scenarios. So the 8 bits and 8 bits. So that is the length of the or range of the class A IP address. The class A IP address is starting from like that pattern 1 to 126 in that pattern. So the length of the class A IP address is 1 to 127. The IP address range is 127 is reserved for the loopback address. That's why we have to use here 1 to 126, the length of that 127. Now the subnet mask for class A IP address 255.0.0.0. So that kind of the scenario known as the decimal notation, by which we have to categorize or assign the each subnet mask through the decimal notation. We will see in the next slide. Now the class A address can have the 126 address network. Actually the whole IP address divided into the two parts. First one is the network part and second is the host part. So we have to describe here the N means here network part, that is also the network ID or net ID, and that is the H means here host network or host ID. So in the class A IP address, the 32-bit is divided into the 4 octets, as we have already seen in the IP version 4. So the first digit is the 0 that we have seen in that is the property of the class A. If the first bit is 0, that is the representation of the class A. So in that scenario, the format of the IP address class A is first 8 bit is the network and remaining 24 bits are the host. Now the class B address, this class is also used for LAN and WAN, and this class IP address consists of 2 bits 1 0. The example of this scenario 1 0, so that is the range of the class B IP address, and its range started from the 128 to 191. The subnet mask of class B is the 255.255 and .00. So like that pattern we have to see. If we have assigned the 255 here, that is the meaning of that is the net ID, and the remaining is the host ID. So we can be seen here net ID, and these are the host ID. So that is the format of the IP address. Now the class C address, this class is also used for LAN and WAN. So this class IP address consists of the 3 bits as we have already seen in the red color, 110 and like that pattern. The IP address range is 192 to 223. The subnet mask of this class is the 255.255.255 and .host. So these three are the networks as we have seen here. Net ID, here is the 24888. So like that pattern in the 24 bits is the network ID and remaining is the 1 octet, that is the host ID. So that is the scenario of the class C address. Now the class D address, this class is used for the multicasting, and the range of the that is the representation of the class D address is the 1110. So we can see here 110. These are the add-on or priority bits in the leftmost part of each octet. So that is the representation of the class D address. The range of the class D is 224 to 239. Now this class is reserved for the multicasting, and this class does not have any subnet mask because in multicasting data is not destined for a particular host, because that is the concept of the multicast, that is not a particular single per node. That's why there is no need to extract the host address from the IP address. Now the class E address is that this class is used only for the research and development R&D. So this class IP address is reserved for the R&D and also the study. So the range of the IP address of this like that pattern 255, 255, 255 and then 254, and this class ID is not equipped with the subnet mask. So that is the for future. Now we have to complete in the scenario IP address class A, B and C. What is the private network means? Here the range, and that is the subnet mask, and that is the address range we have already seen. Now in a single table we can see that is the IP address class A, B, C, D and E. D and D reserved for the multicasting and research used for research, and like that pattern we have to single network, and that is the 3 parts is the host, and like that pattern we have already seen. So that kind of the scenario in a single table, that is the IP address. Now that is the most important thing, what is the IP address from format. In each and every exam or you have to know what is the frame format of the IP address. So that is the frame format of the IP address. So like that classes or like that pattern or fields are required in the each and every frame format. So that is the first one is the version, means which type of version, IP version 4 or 6, DHCP and total length. So like each and every field will have the different types of the number of fields, identification, source at the destination, and so like that pattern, that is the format.